Well, hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Shooter. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys my new Shootsteel target systems. Let's get into it. I'll show you guys how this all slips together and why I think it's a really awesome system. All right, guys, so on this Shootsteel system, what the number one best-selling reason to me on this system is that it is a completely closed loop system when hanging your target, meaning no matter what you shoot this thing with, it will not fall off of the stand. Now, this system could not be simpler to put together. What they recommend you do is go out and get some 1-inch EMT. Now, the center piece, they recommend going to a rigid EMT. Now, that's gonna have a thicker wall thickness and less likely to bend. So I would put that on the top so that it makes it the strongest system possible. This is rubber strapping, which is very nice. I've seen people shoot through chains, and this stuff's flexible, it's lightweight, it's not going to get any sharp edges and stab you, which a lot of my target systems have stabbed me in the past. It's not very fun. All you're gonna do is get this little chain link, so just pop that through the hole here. Let's go ahead and bolt it to the plate. Drop this through the plate, you drop your little chain link over the bolt. Big flat washer captures that chain link so it cannot escape. And then this is a nylock nut. Now, one important thing to note, you do have the option of bolting the rubber strap directly to the plate, but the rubber will mute the plate if you shoot it, so it won't ring as loud. So I would highly suggest going metal on metal contact. That's just gonna be a little bit better for you. You're gonna hear your plate ring a little bit more. This is the bracket that goes on top of the EMT up top, really snug on there. So at this point, it's a teardrop piece of metal. It's got a little hole in the bottom, and that is where you run your second little chain link. What do we want to call this thing? Now this little guy drops in. All right, now the last thing that you would want to do is just go ahead and tighten up these bolts here on your target. Okay, now these are ready to slide onto our target, but we need to take our brackets and build the stand itself real quick. The bracket has holes drilled through the sides, and it's got holes drilled through each leg position. This is a huge advantage over how I built my own homemade target because mine are not pinned, the legs are not pinned on mine, so as I lift it up, the whole thing falls apart. It's not fun, it's really difficult to get my heavy targets onto there while not letting anything fall apart. A lot of people have struggled with that while helping me out in the desert. So, super simple. Take this guy, it fits directly inside this rigid EMT. And you take your pins, run it in until you feel the hole on your bracket. There it goes. That pin locks this bracket in. It's got just enough play in there, but it's not going anywhere. Now, one thing to note on your rigid EMT, you will need holes on both ends of the tubes since you have a bracket on both ends of the tubes. However, with the legs, you only need holes on one side. Now this stuff can be extremely sharp, so after you drill through both sides, go ahead and deburr them, just a little sandpaper or just a grinder or something, knock off those sharp edges. And then same exact process here, guys, just slips on. They do recommend when you're drilling these to put the holes in your EMT 1.5 inches from the end of the EMT. And then we just gotta find exactly where it runs through, snaps on. Piece of cake. Other side is going to be the same process. All right, so at this point we built a stand, but it's a closed system. So what I'm saying is great about this, you can pick the whole thing up. Nothing falls apart, just kick the bottoms of the legs out and it becomes wide and as stable as possible. Doesn't wiggle at all, super solid. And what I'm going to do now is pull one of the pins on the top support, separate the legs from the top support, and then we're going to run our target onto the stand. But there's one last piece to this Shootsteel target that also makes it really awesome. It has these two locking collars with set screws in them. So you put the outside of your target hanger on, slide both of those locking collars on, and then you put the second side of your target stand on. Something like that. You do want to go a little bit wider than your target because that will make things a little more stable. It won't twist up as bad if you get a side hit on your target. But that's how simple it is to build this Shootsteel system. And like I say, it's closed loop, so you're never going to knock it off. It cannot come off of this stand, like I say, unless the whole stand falls over which is not likely. So a few final details I wanted to touch on this Shootsteel target stand is that it's a little bit taller. I like that because it gets it up above sagebrush if you're out in the desert or wherever you are, tall grass, cornfield, I don't know. And then it also is taller so you can run bigger targets. I've got a full-size IPSC target on my homemade stand. My legs are a little shorter and I struggle with getting the full-size IPSC up off the ground at all versus actually like hanging and being able to ring a little bit better. So really awesome benefit there. One of my favorite aspects about this whole target stand is that this whole thing does not come apart. I can move it around, I can adjust it. It's super simple. I love that. I love that it's a closed system loop. Like I was saying, this thing cannot come apart. That's awesome, awesome stuff. And then finally, you can break it down and put it together really quickly, and so it makes it really easy to transport. I mean, look how small this profile is. You got 5 EMT tubes, you got 2 tiny brackets, and you got your target and chains. That's all that goes into this thing. And honestly, you can leave your target on that center tube and just throw it in the back of your truck, whatever you got. I do have an affiliate link to Shootsteel, so if you guys want to check out their systems, their target packages, they also make T-post hangers. They sell steel plates by themselves, which I should probably touch on. This is AR500 steel. It is American sourced, and they are very proud that they buy American sourced steel because they feel that the quality is higher. It's a stronger steel, and they do talk about how they could go ahead and buy cheaper steel. However, you're probably not gonna see the quality that you do with their current steel supplier. So really awesome that they're not just selling out and going to make as much profit as possible. They wanna make the best target stands and targets as possible. So big shout out to Shootsteel. I've really liked dealing with them so far. They've been great to work with. And I'm really looking forward to getting these things out on the range and hammering them with some of my rifles. So again, affiliate link down in the description, as well as I will pin it in a comment too. So if you guys are interested, go over there. Most of their target systems, honestly, most of them are around $100. That's a plate and brackets. Really good deal. I mean, $100 to have a closed loop system that's strong and stands that you can move around and is also easy to put together. Really gonna be hard to beat. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of this system. Let me know if you go ahead and pick one up, and we will see you guys in the next one.